Hey, this is Rhino, and you're listening to the Timo and Harley Show.
Welcome to the Timo and Harley Show.
Thank you for listening to Timo and Harley Show. I am Timo. Over there's my partner in mind crime, Mr. Ben Harley. Say hello, Harley.
What is happening, people?
Ben, happy days, Harley.
That's me.
Happy days are here again.
That's right. Right over there at Al's place there.
That's right.
Happy days.
Let's see here. Glad to report, Mr. Ben Harley, that angio, the chemo and radiation is all done now. I know last week I had said the chemo was done.
Hallelujah.
Yes, and now the radiation, it's done as well. So, and I think Angie's about done with it too. So.
Yeah, I bet she is.
Well,
yeah,
it is cumulative.
Something in the nuts. Oh, sorry.
Yeah. Well, it is cumulative, so it gets a little it gets a little shitty right toward the end, and then it kind of lingers for a little bit afterwards because it's all still kind of working in you, you know. So, but doctors seem to think that she was confident that we'd be okay. There'd be a good result. So then you just have to kind of go scan to scan. Just keep checking, seeing what's in there. So, but the good news is that the radiation, the chemo's done, and that's the only symptoms she's had. So Danny Hicks, God bless him, keeps asking, you know, how's Angie doing? I said, well, I mean, he just loves her, you know. So he keeps asking. I'm like, he's fine. And he keeps going, now listen, has she had a lot of symptoms from the cancer? I go, no. Nothing at all. It's been the doctor's killing her, not the disease, you know. So, but very good. So glad that she should be getting herself whipped back into shape here very soon.
Yeah, fighting shape.
That's right. Speaking of that, Mr. Ben Harley, I saw a dirty rumor that our buddy Rhino made a run in on Impact Wrestling.
He pulled an old Charlie Brown from out of town.
I think he did. Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir, he did. I think, I haven't seen Rhino lately, so if that was Rhino, wink, wink.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. Yeah.
Interesting, though.
I have yet to see it, though.
Mm-hmm.
So I will have to refer back to you later. But I think you might just had a bad camera angle, Tim. I don't think it was Rhino.
Huh.
You know.
Well,
if you know what I mean.
I know what you mean. I think there was
wink.
two rhinos, and one of them I'm pretty sure was a real one. So just going out on a limb there, but no, that was a little surprising. I know that. I guess he feels like he can run Big Daddies and do that at the same time. I don't think Impact Wrestling doesn't have the same commitment. I mean, you had to have a lot of more commitment of time, I would think, for WWE, right, than Impact. I mean, am I wrong about that? I don't know.
Well, I guess depending on schedule, travel, and if you're, I think
I guess Impact, your contract too.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
interesting.
So I haven't watched Impact in quite some time, and I kind of missed it. I was watching it when it came out. I really enjoyed it when Jeff Jarrett first came out. With it and. TNA or whatever, but it was hard to talk to someone seriously about it. Mm-hmm. Like, oh man, I love that TNA wrestling. Oh yeah, I bet you do. Like, no, come on, dude. Seriously, I'm talking about,
right.
No, and you couldn't talk to anybody who wasn't a wrestling fan about it because they're just like,
right, sure.
So, I do kind of miss it in a way.
Mm-hmm.
I just would like to see something a little different. I want to go back to the Southern wrestling days. I really do.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sorry, and I'm not that Southern, Timo, though. Most of my family is, but I just love that style of wrestling. And I love the down south, so don't get me wrong there. Mm-hmm. I love down south, but I just want to see that style come back.
Right.
Nothing against, WWE. I'm not even going there, but I just would love to see that.
You just want the territories to come back a little bit more.
Yeah, a little bit.
Well, you're in a territory a little bit. That's why. Yeah. But they're not really territories anymore. They're just, it's kind of the Wild West again.
Yes, which is okay too, in a way. So, I would like to, because I want to go to a big house show or even a medium-sized house show, just for for fun too. And I like a lot of those wrestlers that aren't in the WWE either. There's there's a lot of good wrestlers out there. So.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I wish Rhino well if that's what he's going to do a little bit. I mean, I got to think that he got a good way to do that.
Sure.
As far as keep his business, because he just opened that boatyard, and it is the season.
It's the season,
a little bit mid-season, I would think. So I think he's
one of my brother's good friends. Like he has a buddy that he boats with. That's where he's docking this year. So it's he's doing really well up there. I think he really is.
Cool.
Which is good. Yeah,
I'm going to go try to see him when we're in Toledo.
Truly do. Yeah.
Speaking of friends with making some big moves, Mr. Ben Harley. So apparently our pal, we just talked about, I think it was last week, if not the week before.
Yes, sir.
Jeff Byers from Creature Replica. Okay, now he was in the documentaries that we were watching.
Yes.
What the hell were they called? On the Trail of Bigfoot?
The Trail of Bigfoot.
Yeah,
yes.
So he was featured in one of those episodes, and we were just talking about him. So apparently he is running Fact or Fiction Fest. It's going to be a part of Horror Hound in Indianapolis.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah, so.
And I think he's going to do really well there, especially down. That's not super south, but not far from there. Is where the Bigfoot Triangle, in Ohio is. So I think he'll do really well in that area. I think he'll get a good response.
Right.
And I wish I could actually be there for that one.
It should be fun, and that's what's cool. And I think Horror Hound is a little long overdue for it. I mean, I know that Scarefest used to have kind of a paranormal side to it, and I understand. And I guess Horror Hound has the Mask Fest and all that too, and I kind of get that, but it doesn't seem that different. To me, like when they do the Mask Fest, it's like, well, that's kind of like saying Vendor Fest over here, Celebrity Fest over there. It's all kind of the same thing to me. This, on the other hand, is kind of a different genre. And if the horror people don't think it's a different genre, go to a crypto convention and see if they're all big fans of Wes Craven. They'll say, who?
Who's that?
Yeah, they don't. I mean, which lends to their credibility, if you ask me.
Sure.
I mean, the fact that they're not into stuff, they're not prone to see monsters. They don't want to. They don't, and stuff. But but that's very good. So, and I, of course, Jeff got a hold of us about coming out and pulling out the old vendor outfits, the old vendor shoes, and vending at it. But I was like, we got a little bit too much going on this year and everything. Yeah. But I told Jeff, I said, let's have you on the show here. Let's have you on the show and talk about Fact or Fiction Fest. Promote and talk about what's going on it. So hopefully, now I can't promise that because of everyone's schedules, but hopefully we will have Mr. Jeff Byers on the show talking about Fact or Fiction Fest before the Indianapolis show, which I don't remember the dates. I don't even remember the dates of the show. Forgive me. I don't have it written down or anything. Yeah. It's September, I believe. So that's what we got going on, Mr. Ben Harley. That's
awesome.
Going on.
Yeah.
So let's get to stuff I watched this week.
All right, Timo, what do you got, buddy?
All right. So I've been telling you on Saturdays, been watching Westerns, right?
Yeah.
From 1957, watched Decision at Sundown starring Randolph Scott.
Randolph Scott.
You do it for Randolph Scott.
Yeah, you would do it for Randolph Scott.
Man, that's a good movie, though. Is
it?
Oh, yeah, it's really good. He comes in town. He's got a partner with him. He comes in town, and everybody's happy. It's not like some big, there's a wedding that's going to take place.
Okay.
He comes in, he aims to stop the wedding, and he doesn't look like he's too, he looks a little cranky about it, too. And the way they set it up is he's kind of the bad guy. He's the guy coming into town to mess shit up. But but things turn, they twist and turn as the movie goes.
Okay.
Basically.
Okay.
So it's a well-written story, and it's effective how it's kind of seductive how you don't know who's the good guys and bad guys. And in the end, everything still ends up a little gray.
Sure. Okay.
And for 1957, there wasn't a whole lot of gray area.
No, there was a lot of black and white.
Yes.
Just,
figuratively and literally. Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So.
But it was cool. It was a good movie. I have only seen a couple Randolph Scott movies. One of them being Ride the High Country with him and Joel McCrea, which I liked a whole lot, but I still haven't gotten into a lot of. Another one I liked was Pittsburgh with him and John Wayne when they're miners, I believe, or they own a mine or something like that. It's sort of a greed story. Rags to riches, rags to riches to greedy. How about that kind of story, or whatever? But it was good though. It was good. So I got some Randolph Scott Blu-rays.
Yeah. Really?
Oh yeah. So that was. So it's gonna be a Randolph Scott freak out for the foreseeable future here on Saturdays.
Attaboy. Good. Good for you. That's good stuff.
Let's see here. From 1950, I think this was 1953. I didn't actually write it down, but I'm pretty sure it was 1953. Watched Pickup on South Street starring Richard Widmark. Okay. So the reason I'm even mentioning this, because it's not horror, I'm trying to stay away from, besides the fun little Western, little mention here or there that I'm going to make, but I wanted to make a point about film noir movies, because Pickup on South Street is a film noir movie for sure. Okay. I want to know why in film noir movies, people who are enemies, they just can't stand each other. The first time, I'm talking men and women, they look at each other from across the room and it's just, they give a scowl. Like, oh, you look like you stink. Ew. Yeah, it's like, Then they start arguing, bickering, fighting, and then commence to spontaneously make out.
Yeah, that's true.
And the guy just grabs the girl and she falls, she melts.
Yeah.
I try to grab a girl and I'm on Facebook and then I'm in jail. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
I think if I give a woman a scowl, I'll end up in jail at this point. You know what I'm saying? So
you might. Actually.
Yeah, but how the hell? You wonder why we had the problems we have today. But is it not true that especially in those movies, that's how shit went down?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, you just gave him a smooch, and that was it.
Yeah.
That was it.
If people started off in love, they inevitably would fall out of love in the film. And the two people who couldn't stand each other, they end up completely falling in love.
Yeah.
And they still hate each other.
Yeah. Kind of like the Princess Leia ham salad type thing. There you go.
Pretty much.
Yeah, she didn't. Yeah. She called him a nerf herder for crying out loud.
I don't know. All I can tell you, all I can tell you is that I just noticed that, and I'm like, why does that always happen? I don't know. I'm not.
Might start trying that, Timo. Might start trying that.
Thank God you can't teach an old dog new tricks. That's all I got.
Timo's over there kissing the deli girl because she won't cut the ham the right way. Then.
I'll learn you. Learn you. I ain't brushed my teeth in weeks. I'll learn you. I've been eating onion and chewing on tobacco.
Oh man!
Don't mind that black spot in my tongue. It's been there for a week.
Oh yeah.
All right, moving on, Mr. Moving on. From 1965, watch the movie War Gods of the Deep.
War Gods of the Deep. Okay.
Starring, let's see here. Who did it star? Tab Hunter. We had old Tab Hunter and Vincent Price.
Vincent Price. He's done a few movies, eh?
Yeah, this is one where Vincent Price has the underwater or underground civilization, and they don't age as long as they stay down there. And he has some weird fish people that kind of are floating around, I guess protecting them or doing something. I don't know. This thing starts out real promising. It looks nice. It's shot nice and wide. It's in color. It's good production vibe. It looks like one of those Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea, like one of those movies,
Yeah, okay.
But boy,
which are always fun.
Oh, they are, but this one just it fizzles, man. It just falls apart. Oh, when you expect it to get exciting, it gets more boring.
No, that's not good.
Not very good. Nope, not at all. So, but I still stuck through it a little bit, but because I started it. From 1977, Mr. Ben Harley watched Sinbad and the Eye of the Tiger.
I love that one. I don't know. It might be my favorite one, Tim.
Think so? It's one with Jane Seymour and Patrick Wayne.
Okay.
I had fun watching it.
that's a good one.
I've watched the Ray Harryhausen documentary lately, so it kind of gave me the itch to watch more Ray Harryhausen stuff. And that's one I haven't seen a ton of times, so I watched. It was fun. It was fun to watch. So
good. Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one.
So let's see here. Moving on, Mr. Ben Harley. From 1933. Now, see, Angio's been tired, so I've been kind of watching stuff a little bit more on my own. Not a whole lot, but I think most of these movies I've mentioned up until now, I've just watched my own because she's been a little under the weather. She's been
through enough already.
Yeah. So this is when I watched my. Well, and I sort of picked out stuff either I wasn't too sure about, like War Gods of the Deep, and thank God I didn't waste her time with that. But this was one that I'm like, I'm going to watch this because I'll watch it again anyway.
Yeah.
From 1933, King Kong.
Ooh.
Yeah, watch the original one. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
And it was fun, but mostly I kind of mentioned this because one of those twosies, Mr. Ben Harley, as our good friend Danny Hicks calls him.
Yeah.
Someone's listening to the show. Someone's watching me. I have no idea what's happening, but I turn off TV, or I turned off my movie last night that I was watching, flip it on old Me TV, and Perry Mason just happens to have Fay Wray.
Ooh.
Perry Mason.
Yeah.
Something weird's going on, Mr. Ben Harley. Something weird.
Well, I'll have to add to that in a minute then.
Okay. All right. Well, add to it now. What do you got? Were you a Fay Wray? What?
Well, no, but I happened to watch Kong Island.
Oh, did you?
Timo,
you
the new
rewatched it?
Skull, yeah. Right? Kong Island?
Skull Island or Kong Island or something like that. Yeah.
Kong Skull Island, I do believe. Yes, yeah. So I did watch it actually twice, believe it or not. Once I watched it because I wanted to. The other was just I put it on while we were back here, and but I didn't watch all of it that day. But yeah, you know what, Tim? I'm gonna have to report to you that I actually enjoyed it more. The more I see it, I guess the more I enjoy it.
Okay.
There are some really a few low points for me that I can't get over, but that's okay. That's all right. I can kind of either turn the TV off before that part comes on, which is the ending with John C. Reilly when he goes back to civilization. It's a little weak for me, but I actually really like it. I do enjoy it. It's got a lot of good music in it. It's just a fun, kind of ride a little bit too. Samuel L. Jackson's, pretty good in it. And overall, I don't mind the CGI as much. So my only two issues, one being the ending, and two, I did not like the other monsters. Kind of like in the Godzilla, I didn't really like the Muto monsters or whatever in the first Godzilla they just did or whatever. But other than that, I actually really enjoyed it. It's fun. It's a fun movie. There's about a 15-minute part where Kong first shows up. That's really good. It is good. I must admit, I enjoy watching it. It's from a giant. Yeah, I think you'd enjoy it. We'll just go in as a fun movie and you'll enjoy it.
I think you might be
surprised.
Well, I started it not that long ago for just the reason because I didn't really like it much. Yeah. And so I was like, maybe I should sit here by myself and just look at it. Just sit here by myself and just watch it. Not, I think the first time we watched it, we were at Salt Fork and we were sitting outside. Yes. And
we were a little loaded. We were. I'm sorry.
We were loaded. We were a little tired and everything. But I put it on and I remember it starting with like a battle between a Japanese soldier and an American soldier with swords and stuff. And I'm like,
it's a little weird.
For some reason, I can't get past it. I just turn it off. Yeah. I'm like, God, now I'm starting to remember now. And I just don't, I have like this reaction to even seeing the film start playing that I'm like, geez, get it off. But I don't like anything King Kong after the 76 King Kong.
Yeah.
I just don't like anything King Kong. I really don't like anything much Godzilla after it. The very new Godzilla was okay that we watched, but I like the old rubber suits shit. I mean,
me too.
I never took Godzilla seriously, I guess. So I don't need a ferocious beast but I don't know. Like I said, I thought the last one was okay, but King Kong to me is maybe more like your Godzilla. Nah, I can't say that because you really love Godzilla. I think I just side with King Kong because I think the original movie's better.
It's a good movie.
Yeah, and I really like the 70s one also. Yeah. And I have a lot of fun with the bad Japanese ones because they're silly shit. I mean,
yes, they are.
King Kong Escapes. I mean, we could do a podcast on that weekly.
Ooh, yeah, it'd
be huge. It'd be bigger than the movie ever was. You
got that right.
Man. Doggy. I had to buy that shit on Blu-ray, man. But anyway, I just need to maybe just fast forward through that beginning and start watching it then or something. I got to do something.
Well, what's funny that you mentioned that when I first turned it on, I was like, what the fuck? I swear to God, I was like, did I put the wrong movie in? I did. I'm like, wait a second, what's going on? And then, but to tell you the truth, I'm not a fan of that part either, really. Mm-hmm. But after that, it kind of gets going. It to me reminds me a lot of the 70s King Kong. I don't know that it was intentional, but I think they did pay a little homage to it. And that's only like the first maybe 20 minutes or so, like when they're on the boat and everything, kind of really reminds me of. But I actually like Samuel L. Jackson in this a lot too. He's not, he's Samuel L. Jackson. He's gonna give you at least a decent performance,
right?
And he's pissed off. I forgot how pissed off he was.
Yeah, that's the thing. I remember him. He kept giving Kong dirty looks, and he would just stand there and let it stomp around him.
Yeah, he let people running by him on fire.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I think I was. I don't think I was in it enough. Yeah, to buy that.
I went into it really low, not low expectations this time, but I just went in to try to enjoy it, and I did. I really did. Now it's still not the 70s King Kong to me, which will always be my favorite. As much as I love the original King Kong and I love the movie, the 70s King Kong did things, for me as a kid, made me, I did. I felt so bad for King Kong in that movie, much more than I did in the original. And it's because it looked more real to me at that time.
Let's see. Speaking of, giant monsters, Mr. Ben Harley. Now, Angio and I did watch this together, and you're going to be very happy. From 1957, and I even gave Angio a choice of a couple different movies. Of course, the other movie is the next movie we watched after this, but she picked The Giant Claw.
The Giant Claw. Oh, wow. She's going deep. Swinging for the fences. Wow.
I know. Nice. But it had my Mark Horday in it.
Mm-hmm.
So, we're about that. I tell you what, there is more scientific mumbo jumbo than you could shake a chicken wing at in that movie. I'm telling you, it's like the way they explain what's happening. You're just like, whoa. And I almost wanted to rewind just to listen one more time what they said. Wait, what did you just say? And they're just rattling off these lines. I swear to God, they had to have them taped up everywhere on set to remember what the hell they were talking about. Poor old Jeff Morrow. Oh, poor Jeff. And I don't say poor Jeff Morrow very often, but poor Jeff Morrow.
Poor Jeff Morrow.
Yeah. But it was fun. That monster. What's apparently too, we do know how movies are made these days. So they never saw the monster. And apparently I think it was supposed to be Ray Harryhausen. Was supposed to do a stop motion thing for the Giant Claw. And but budget dictated that they use the marionette thing they use.
That thing is so bad.
But it goes back and forth. It's a good movie. It's a good movie. And then it goes from being a good movie to just blistering laughter. I mean, it's just hilarious. And the more they show it and that stupid noise it makes, it's like Eon the Terrible.
That's exactly what I was going to say. It does. And I
told Angio that I said, the problem is this. It's not that bad, actually. It's not shot well. It's not filmed well. Right. But when they just show the claw and stuff, that's pretty cool. I mean, it's not that bad. What's bad is the mohawk and the eyeballs. If they didn't have the mohawk and the
eyes.
Yeah. It's like, what on?
The Marty Feldman eyes?
Yes. It just ruins it. It just ruins it. Yeah.
That was mean.
Well, it's kind of out there. People knew he had the funny eyes. So I think you're okay. You're safe on that one, It's like calling Hervé Villechaize short. Great. I got another one for me, pal. But it was a ball to watch, though. I had a ball watching it. I laughed my ass. I love that movie. I want that to come out on Blu-ray, 4K, and hologram. I don't give a shit. I'll buy it. I'll keep buying it. I might pass up Prophecy to buy it. I don't know. Let's see. Last up here, Mr. Ben Harley, from another 1957 movie. Now, this was the other one that Angio, she bypassed this one to go to the Giant Claw. So we so the hopes were not high. But I was. So we watched The Monster That Challenged the World.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
And who won the world?
Yeah, well, it's more like big mollusks invade a rural area. Not than the monster that challenged the world. They really didn't challenge they slightly annoyed some seamen. That's really about it. They're about like, I don't know, 8 feet tall. So
yeah,
it was more monsters than monster too. So, but I get this movie mixed up with what I don't know. But okay. I think I get it mixed up with like it came from beneath the sea or something. I get it mixed up with something Ray Harryhausen.
Okay.
This is not Ray Harryhausen. This is another costume or actually an animatronic kind of monster too. And and for its time, it's very good.
Sure.
It's a very good monster for its time. And the movie itself, it's a nifty little movie, man. And it's more of a horror movie than a sci-fi movie for a change.
And we reviewed that, haven't we?
I'm pretty sure we did. Yeah. I must have been really high though last time I watched it because I didn't remember it very much.
Yeah,
I really didn't remember it very much, and it must be one of those movies that I just thought I had seen a bunch of times, getting it mixed up with something else.
I can see that. I can dig that.
But I loved watching it. I thought it was great. I thought it was absolutely. It was as far as those '50s movies go. I mean,
yeah.
But what a ball! When's the last time you seen it? Whenever we.
I think I reviewed it. Yeah, yeah.
Man.
I'm trying to think too if it was on something else too, Comet or something.
It might. I highly recommend digging. Yeah. If I gave you a disc or something, I highly recommend digging that sucker out and giving it a spin.
Give it a whirl.
Yeah,
okay. I'm good with that.
It was fun. But that's all I got right now. Now you've been monkey arming it too, right?
Yeah, Not just watching Kong Island. I've been really monkey arming it. Yes.
So Kong Island was what you basically watched this week, but that's cool.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah. I've been watching a lot of Mystery Science and Riff Tracks, on Pluto.
Mm-hmm.
But I did watch something here. Now it is horror, but actually it wasn't quite as bad as I thought. But my daughter Sydney, my youngest, she's like, there's that. From Goosebumps, there's the little ventriloquist dummy named Slappy.
Okay.
And she's been watching things on YouTube or she'll see stuff. And so I noticed that Goosebumps, whatever. See, that's how dumb I am. So yeah, Goosebumps 2 came on Netflix.
Okay.
So we did watch that the other night, and she was really excited about it. And she knew most of it from watching stuff on YouTube and things. Like mostly the parts was Slappy, but I don't want to call it horror light, but Goosebumps. And my oldest daughter, she's gonna be 27, and she used to read Goosebumps, and my daughter Zoe, who's 15 now, she used to also read Goosebumps. Remember the TV show was okay. I had watched a few episodes with them that were okay. Now I know not all of them had a very happy ending either. There were some I was actually like, wow, was it really? Were any of them like that? Okay,
right.
And I was impressed. But for the most part, it is what it is.
Right.
But the movie...
It was kid stuff that gave kids the benefit of doubt every now and then.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, yeah.
Exactly. Which is okay, and it's the horror stuff was... Some of it was generally frightening, some of the stuff they had in there, but... I just never really took to it, as far as watching it with them that much, but, anyways, the movie itself has Goosebumps, Goosebumps 2. The premise basically there's a town, these two kids, they find a book and they open up the book. It's an unfinished manuscript by R.L. Stine. And I think Jack Black, I don't think he does play R.L. Stine in the movie. And basically the unfinished manuscript's called Halloween Town, and I do believe it was based on a real manuscript of his. And but really, mostly to make the long story short, the town, Slappy, the ventriloquist dummy that comes with the book, really terrorizes everybody, and which some of it was fun to watch, but like the Yeti makes an appearance.
All right.
Like a creature from the Black Lagoon, type creature. Now, a werewolf is in it, Timo, but I'm not really sure why the werewolf is wearing gym shorts.
Okay. Is this supposed to be
Nothing
Teen
but
Wolf?
gym shorts. I don't know, and I just not really a full outfit, but just gym shorts. I don't.
They didn't want to show the naughty bits.
I guess, but why gym shorts? How about a ripped up pair of jeans or something besides
Right.
like nice looking gym shorts, like really nice gym shorts?
It's a different kind of werewolf that turns into a werewolf every PE class.
Yeah, so some of that stuff, because basically Slappy went into because the kids reject him because he actually is trying to help the kids, but he's doing pretty bad stuff to help them. Now, if you say anything bad about the kids or do something to them and they're least, or look at them wrong, Slappy's coming for you. But then they start to, be scared of Slappy. And overall, it was okay. It was something fun to watch with Sydney. I didn't really hate it.
Jack Black isn't in much of it, though, is he?
No, just
that was
mostly,
like the big thing. He was in most of the first one, right? But he wasn't.
Yeah, I think so. This one just briefly. So it's okay. I don't really recommend it too much, but if you have small children, it's fun. You're not going to hate it. You're not going to pull your hair out like some of the ones like that. But it's got a lot of stars in it, though. A lot of bigger name people in it too. So which is kind of cool. Yeah, it's all right. It's okay, Timo. It's no Kong Island.
Well, let's get to our official films. Mr. Ben Harley. Let's go in chronological order.
Okay.
All I got to tell you is this: there are going to be 2 more different movies that we're reviewing this week.
Yeah,
right? So
first, one I enjoyed. One I wanted to kick in the shit. Sorry.
First, I don't. And to be honest with you, I don't know which one is which.
Okay.
I don't. So that's how I enjoy them. I don't know which one you're talking about. I don't know.
Okay.
It could be either one to me. So
right.
From 1949, we have the movie Masterminds, starring the Bowery Boys, Leo Gorcey and Huntz Hall. Well, it was some of the Bowery Boys, but let's see. Let's get out Movie Guy.
Yeah.
And give you a short storyline, summary, synopsis, whatever the hell you want to call it. All right, here we go.
Yeah.
When Satch eats too much sugar, he goes into a trance whereby he's able to predict the future. Slip tries to make some money off of Satch by using him as a fortune teller in a carnival until a mad scientist kidnaps Satch to use him in an intelligence switching experiment with a monster. Yes, so let's kind of repeat that. So Leo Gorcey and Huntz Hall, if he eats too much sugar, he gets a toothache, which I have right now, actually. I'm very happy about it.
Not from eating sugar.
No, and I'm not seeing the future except calling the dentist. That's about all I'm going to say right now. So whenever his tooth gets achy from too much sugar, he goes into this trance and he can predict the future. All right, so your boy, Alan Napier, Alfred from the Batman series, he plays I don't know if he's a mad scientist or just a slightly annoyed
scientist. Mild scientist, more
Yes.
More mild.
Right. So him and one of his handsome employees, they go and see old Huntz Hall in action, old Satch in action.
Yeah.
Or whatever. And then they kidnap him and they take him back to their lair, their out of the way spook house laboratory. Where they have built a creature, Atlas. I guess they made a monster, and played by one Glenn Strange.
And it looks a lot like Bela Lugosi.
A little bit. Got some funny makeup on. Makeup by Jack Pierce, might I add.
Okay.
Yes, so Jack Pierce did the makeup. So
was he a Sasquatch? I'm not quite sure.
Well, what they want to do, this is a great idea. So what they want to do is Alan Napier wants to transfer Satchmo's brain thoughts,
peace,
into Atlas. Why a hulking beast needs to be able to see a future when he gets a toothache, I don't know. So then what you have here is you have Glenn Strange running around acting like Huntz Hall, and Huntz Hall acting like a monster through most of this film. Is what you have. So now this was 1949.
Yes.
Okay. The Bowery Boys started off in 37 as the Dead End Kids, at least in films, at least, or whatever. So this was 12 years into them. Basically, Leo Gorcey, I think, was like 30 or 32 years old.
Okay.
When they shot this, so him talking about the boys, they're starting to look a little old for what they were funny for. You know,
Sure,
it was like not replacing Little Rascals or Menudo.
Yeah, right.
Okay, either one. So
Yeah, right.
right. So I guess comedy ensues because
Yeah.
the Leo Gorcey and company are going to go save Hunts Hall,
Yeah.
but there's confusion as to who's who because of the brain transfers, and nobody knows what the hell's going on.
Right.
So
right.
it's a comedy.
Nor
of
did I.
errors, yes, and then you have Glenn Strange acting in a way I guarantee most of you Western fans do not want to see him act. Like, I promise you that. If you're a big Western fan, I promise you don't want to see this performance made by Glenn Strange. He does it good.
Yes.
He does it real good. And actually, Hunts Hall does a good mean guy, too.
Yeah.
I just don't think you want to see either one of them. But anyway, so, what did you think of Masterminds, Mr. Ben Harley?
I had a hard time with this film, Demo. I had a real hard time with this one.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I love all this type of stuff, kind of. But I'm a big Little Rascal fan. I'm a Buster Keaton fan for crying out loud. Like,
I'm a Bowery Boys fan.
Yeah, I'm not a big I don't know. I mean, some of it, yeah. But this one, I had a real hard time. The comedy wasn't funny enough to me, you know, and I just kept thinking Abbott Costello a lot, you know, which it's not fair to the Bowery Boys really either. But like, there was just too much going. There's too many of them, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I just felt like this was just, I don't know, it was just flat, the whole thing. Like the comedy was okay, but it was just, I don't know. I just didn't. I didn't like there was not much horror to it. I just felt like
this movie didn't deliver on the horror or the comedy.
No,
because I didn't. I think I snickered once.
Yeah.
Me, AGL, and Chance sat there and watched it, and it was. And I like the Bowery Boys, but I like the movies that they're pretty much known for. Okay. Which is all the ones with Bela Lugosi in it. They're a little older too. Sure. The movies are older than this, so they're earlier films that I like. I didn't like this at all. I am not a Bowery Boys expert,
nor
by any sense of, by any stretch of the imagination. But I like them, and I find them very funny. And they do the same shtick and routine, but they were missing a couple of the boys in this one too.
Yeah,
they had an African American guy that was funny as shit. He was not there in it, and they just had a couple of the dopey Bowery Boys that really weren't there for anything more than just to be boys. Yeah. With him. Leo Gorcey, though, in some of those movies is hilarious. Yeah. With all that double talk.
Yeah.
I mean, he's great. This was not good. He was not. I don't think his misspeak worked as well when he was older.
No.
I think it worked well when he was a kid.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll go along with that.
Yeah, and so I think that was a big part of it. I don't think any of their antics worked. Like with the Three Stooges, they still worked because you just thought they were just buffoons. But these guys just never grew up. And so it's kind of hard to, some of them look old, too. It's like, why would these guys just be hanging out together always?
Right.
I mean, the Stooges give you the reasons. They're hobos, basically.
Right.
I don't know what the hell these dudes are doing, man. But I don't know. And I'm with you, though. Now, here's what's kind of sad about this, too, is that it was directed by Gene Yarbrough, who's a prolific director, but directed She-Wolf of London and did a lot of those Rondo Hatton movies that we watched, like the Creeper, the Brute Man. Yeah, House of Horrors. Yeah, directed those. So as a B-movie director, and could have handled it well, but I think it's just an uninspired. It was almost like Hunts Hall wanted to prove too much he could act.
Yeah.
Did you sense that? I thought that I guess Alan Napier was good as the villain, but then at the end he gets a little silly. Too.
Yeah.
Kind of. And then there's this weird guy that runs the place they hang out at. He's like this little old guy, and he annoyingly.
Benny Hill. Like
yeah, sort of, but he's following all the action around. He's going to save the boys. Yeah. But he waits forever. It just stares at what's going on, going, "Oh, I shouldn't be here." You know, it's like, "Oh God, just do something or leave."
No,
he gets in a suit of armor, and immediately the scientist thinks that the place is haunted.
Yeah,
you know, so that's like, it's not even funny. You know, and it's very difficult to watch Glenn Strange acting like Huntz Hall.
Yeah.
So
I don't know, Tim. I just. And I like these style of movies and stuff. I like the style of comedy.
Yeah, we both do.
But it was just awful. Like there's one scene when they go into the laboratory finally, like when they're looking for what's his face?
Satch.
Satch, yeah, Satch. Yeah. And oh God, Satch, I didn't like him either. But like they you know, and then like they go in and they touch something and all the stuff starts going off in the laboratory. And there's like 5 of them, and they're all doing different things, and it just goes on and on and on. And it's just like, it wasn't funny to me.
Right.
Now, if some of the stuff was a little bit more funny, I probably would have enjoyed it a little bit more. But like you said, it was real short on the horror, if any horror, and real short on the comedy for me. It just, and it was one of these, I'm like, oh, I can't wait for this movie to be over. And I don't want to feel that way because I was actually like, this is going to be pretty good. And then,
if they wouldn't have done the brain transfer thing, I think it would have been a lot better. Sure. Because I don't think it was, I think you lost, look, Glenn Strange, it just wasn't funny. It was uncomfortable what he was doing. And Huntz Hall, I mean, he did a good job, but yeah, great. But I mean, you need Huntz Hall to make Leo Gorcey funny.
Yeah.
I don't think Huntz Hall was ever, my personal opinion was I didn't think he was very funny. I always thought that he made Leo Gorcey funny because you had to have him doing the stupid shit.
Yeah.
And then Leo Gorcey acting like he's any smarter. That was the that was the bit. That's what they did. Yeah. That was their shtick. And they were separated through most of this movie. And it just didn't work. And then I just thought Leo Gorcey was, again, they looked too old to me. It just wasn't, I don't know. It was like when the Three Stooges after Curly had a stroke. You can really tell.
Yes.
I mean, to me, it was a little uncomfortable to watch like that.
Yeah.
And it was everybody trying to act out of character. I don't know. And it was not funny. It just wasn't funny. I mean, it was not. There was a couple little humorous things, but
I just didn't find it funny, and I feel bad about that. And I was like, "Is it me? Is it my mood?" But I was like, "No, it's just not anything for me to grasp onto." And I just kept thinking, "This is like a bad version of an Abbott and Costello movie. Like a bad. This is like
what's a bad version of their older horror comedies?
Yeah, like
it is,
man, like real bad. Like, oh man, painful to the point where I'm like." I was starting not get angry, but I'm like, oh God, maybe want to watch like Abbott and Costello meet Frankenstein or something, or what, you know, like
it's kind of like the Bowery Boys got together and got to drinking and started talking about one of their old horror comedies they did, and while they were drinking, they all got up and started kind of just messing around with each other, acting like they did in that movie, just as a fun gag between each other. But it's only going to be funny to them. It's not funny to us.
No.
And it just wasn't funny. Yeah. I mean, it wasn't. I mean, none of us laughed. Chance didn't laugh, and he's an easy audience. I mean, he's 12. He laughs at shit that I'm looking at him like, what was that?
What's so funny?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but anyway.
No, I just didn't find anything fun or funny about it either. And it was actually kind of made me a little mad because I was like, I should really be enjoying this.
Right.
Well, but I'm not.
Yeah, I think they made like 50 movies or something like that. So
okay, yeah,
they were owed a dud or two. This is just I think it's just upsetting because it looks like our kind of movie, which is why we reviewed it. It looks like our kind of movie, and that's just really disappointing. Now it's one of those movies like, well, that's why I haven't seen it before. That's exactly what I thought. It's like, well, this is why I haven't seen it before because it sucks.
Because it's a dud.
So I'm gonna go. I'm giving it a. How about you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. All right. So we're on the same page, but I wasn't sure. Yeah. I wasn't sure if we'd be on the same page because this could go either way depending on your mood, I guess. You know.
Oh, it's so bad. I'm sorry.
Well, let's get to our next official film, which is what I'm referring to here. So, from 1984, we have the Indonesian film The Devil's Sword.
The Devil's Sword, baby.
Yes.
Baby.
All right. Let's see. I guess if I lived on the East Coast, or if I was too snooty, maybe I might pronounce it the Devil's Sword.
There you go.
So let me get out movie guy and let's see what part of the country he's from. So here we go. All right, let's get out for a plot summary here. We'll call it. All right, here we go. All right.
Okay.
The Devil's Sword lies hidden in a secret cave inside Devil's Mountain. Everything evil will fight to the death for it. For whoever possesses the sword will rule the kingdom.
That's right.
4 warriors attack the keeper of the mountain and try to force him to hand over the map that will lead them to the sword. The tortured keeper escapes and runs to Mandela, his master, who, after hearing of the attempt, sets off on his own journey to save the Devil's Sword. He has many blood-curdling battles along the way. He is attacked by the evil crocodile men and encounters with many fiendish traps set for intruders entering the mountain. At last, Mandela captures his prize. Can he call upon the gods and use the mystical sword against the raging warriors with their magical power? Will he win the fight with the crocodile queen who craves the Devil's Sword at any cost? That's a little long.
That's attaboy, Timo. Need a round of applause after that one. Yeah. About as long as the movie.
Yes. So this is brought to you by the same. Well, it's brought to you by this same thought process, not the same people, but as The Warrior. Also starring our star of this film, Mr. Barry Prima.
Yeah.
Old Barry Prima.
Barry Prima.
So Barry Prima basically fights a bunch of people and in weird, bizarre ways, going for a sword, I guess.
A devil sword.
From a evil queen who is a sex fiend.
Yeah, she is. That chick's badass. I mean, First, she took on about 15 guys. I was like, wait a second. And then first, I was like, did Tim send me something I should be watching back? Should I be watching this alone back here? Whoa, hey now. Well, it's funny for such a sex-crazed movie, they didn't show any nudity. It's funny.
Not a whole lot. Not much to speak of.
Yeah, the evil queen, I kind of dug her.
You liked her?
She was kind of, she was in touch with her body. Let me put it that way.
There was a lot of people in touch with her body.
Exactly.
I'll tell you what. From the word go, you know it's going to be one of those movies.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, from the word go, you sit down you're like, oh boy, where's my seatbelt at? Here we go. No wonder my tooth hurts.
Yeah,
It's gritting it probably.
I knew. Sorry, excuse me. I knew I was in for something special when the one guy came into the village, and he was on top of a ledge or whatever, and he kicked a giant rock, not a little rock, kicked it, and then leapt upon it and rode it down to the village. Right. I'm like, oh man, I'm in. Right. I was like, this is going to be something special. I did. I was like, strap yourself in.
Yeah.
Because that guy just kicked himself down the mountain and rode a giant rock. Like, when have you ever seen that before? Except maybe the cartoons. I was like, wow.
Yeah.
I was like, that's great. That's great.
Well, you knew that there was something special too whenever Barry Prima what's he doing? I think he's trying to fight somebody. And then the mystical warrior he's trying to fight. They all run together. The mystical warrior he's trying to fight summons forth these people that look like the alligator people.
Yeah,
from the old 50s movie, the alligator people looked just like that. And Barry Prima just looks and goes, crocodile men. Oh yeah. Sure, crocodile men. Why not? And the crocodile men, as the movie goes forward, they try less and less to make those crocodile men convincing as the movie goes forward. Did you notice that?
Yeah.
By the end of the movie, they basically had a hat on that looked like a crocodile.
Yeah. They had some swords that Guar used to use at their shows, man. Oh my God, it was something else.
Well, they
Something
fooled me when they
else.
were swimming. I thought they were bad special effects crocodiles until they jumped onto the boat. I'm like, oh no, that was their headgear.
Oh yes, yes, yeah.
I got you.
Oh boy, that was good. And actually, it's like because some of it's like really good, and you could tell they put a lot of effort into some of this stuff.
Yeah,
and then
with nothing to work with.
Yeah, because like before
and they went for it.
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah. And like right before they get attacked by the crocodile people, they get on this raft which is like a the River Styx, the Charon type character on it. And it actually looked good, you know what I mean? Like, and there's like bubbly smoke. Yeah, like for real simple effect, it was pretty effective. But yeah, but I loved it. It's funny because I actually paused it. I was like, you know what? I was like, I got to come back to this year, because it was like, this is getting real good. You know what I mean? Like, this is one that I'm really going to have to watch this scene, So I came back the next day that I could focus a little bit more and finish it. Because I'll tell you, Timo, I love these types of movies, but it's a lot to take in one sitting, man. I mean, it's a lot of movie to take in. And it's not a short one. It's like an hour and 40 some minutes, I think, or whatever. Yeah. And it's chock full of fights and swords and ugly witches and and John Stamos hairdos and
heads getting lopped off and
lots of heads getting lopped off, man. A lot of bad overdubbing too, that I just love that stuff, and a lot of revenge. A lot of plots of revenge. You're like, dude, you haven't even left yet. And you're about to get your head cut off. You better stop talking about revenge.
Right.
Beat your feet.
there's a lot of well-oiled or skilled and oiled, I guess, warriors who spend a lot of time evil laughing at each other and bickering, though, too.
There's more laughing.
You can't fight me. It's like, oh my God.
I've never heard happier villains in my life. Really. Every time one showed up, you're like, that guy, he's no match. And then, and then he get vanquished, and then another guy'd show up, or a woman, or a witch. And, right. And my thing is that his like little partner that he kind of palled around with, the one girl whose husband was taken from the.
That's the whole thing, right? That's the whole thing. This evil queen sends her evil warriors, her well-oiled evil warriors out to kidnap men, not women, men to make out with her and roll all over and get in touch with her body.
Yeah, and then they all get all jealous. The next guy that shows up, she's like, "All right, beat it." Like, wait, what? Why don't you go do some gardening? Beat it. I'm going to bang this guy.
Yeah. So Barry Prima, his honorable quest as it is to go with the wife who is, I tell you, she can handle herself, Ben Harley.
Yeah, she fought a few fellas, man.
That dude's going to be in big trouble when he gets home, I tell you.
Oh, yeah. Frying pan for sure.
Oh, man. She's going to karate chop him all over the country, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
But, so you're like, well, this is, I guess, are you really concerned about this quest? Do you just really like Barry Prima to the point you'll just root for him for any fucking reason in a fight? I don't know.
Right.
This was really, really good, but it's not as good, and by good I mean crazy, as the Warrior though. But it's riding in the same car with it. But but the Warrior just, I think, had more like unbelievable. You're supposed to die. Like that kills you. And in this movie, there's some of that. And it's definitely, look, it's a friendly movie, man. It's a really friendly movie. So it's very easy to get along with. It's fun to watch.
I enjoyed it.
Yes.
It was one of the movies I kind of needed. You know what I mean? And one that I'll watch again and show people like, you gotta see this.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yep. So I really enjoyed it. It was, I said I took it in 2 doses, so it's a little bit easier. But what a fun ride, you know. And it was funny because not only the laughter from the villains, I think that being the alligator queen, she's got to have thick skin, right, Timo?
Yeah.
So she was called a biatch many times in this movie. And I was waiting for it. The one time I'm like, all right, waiting for it. Bitch, yay! There it is. I was like, it's funny because it's so funny in the dub because it'll be like something, and then it'll be a long pause, and then all of a sudden, bitch! I'm like, yes, touchdown. You know, it's just funny.
Yeah, it's a highly entertaining movie. I promise you one thing: this was one of these weeks where you went into this expecting to love Masterminds and probably wanted to hurt me after Devil's Sword.
But no, but it was
the opposite, right?
Yeah, opposite. Yeah, exactly.
So that's and. This is right up there with like Mystics and Bali and some of these movies. It was funny too. I was actually very shocked that when me and Anjo were watching it, we were both laughing. It was funny.
Sure.
I looked over. I was like, oh yeah, don't you remember the movie? And I couldn't remember it. And then I remembered the warrior. And then I remembered his name was Jaka Sabung. And I'm like, how the hell did I remember his name was Jaka Sabung? And that's how these movies leave a mark on you. They
just
don't leave.
They really do.
They just, it's
they
just
never leave.
It's like a tick, they bury into your subconscious and they stay there and they kind of wiggle around a little while. And next thing you know, they got you.
Yeah.
They've got you.
Yep.
And they do. And this one had me. Yeah, it was good. It was not as good as a warrior, but it was good.
But yeah. Well, as soon as he kicked himself down the mountain, I was in, man, and rode that rock down.
Mm-hmm.
I could care less what it looked like. I was like, this is great. And then there's another part I thought was kind of, and I had never seen in one of these movies, but like, there's a fight, to go into like the cave of the devil where the devil's sword was. And the witch gets cut in half, like just completely cut in half. But she, that's just a flesh wound, She gets herself back together, but then gets her head cut off. And the guy, I can't remember his name, and I apologize. The same guy that kicked himself down the mountain on the rock.
Yeah.
Kicks her head into like a hole kind of over of the cave. Like this is enough room for a head to fit in. And then he kicks another rock in there and pins her head into the thing.
Right. Yeah.
And she's like, and I couldn't help but laugh. I was like, this is awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who thought of that one? That was good, so
that main bad guy, that main bad guy warrior too, man, that guy totally no sells when he's fighting those extras too.
Yeah.
Cause they got him a couple good shots and he just didn't even react to it at all.
A lot of kung fu in this
it's
movie.
Not
just
super
like
fast either. It's more realistic though. It's like kind of more realistic martial art kind of fighting.
Yeah.
Or whatever. Maybe just because it was slower.
15 people going at it. It's always a lot.
Right.
Which is cool too. And I enjoyed that. It was fun,
That was silly shit.
Yeah.
Silly as shit. All that goddamn you laughing and bickering. That's most of it. It was almost, I'd love to redub that. I know it's been done before, but to redub a silly movie like this, but that would be a real good one.
That would be
to redub and really come up with something interesting. But I'll leave that up to somebody that has patience, more talent, and time, whatever you name. You name it, you got it more than I got. So I'm gonna give this a big great paper up. It was a lot of fun. It's entertaining.
Me too.
It's very entertaining. It's the special effects are awful. They're so laughable that it's entertaining. It's Pee-wee's Playhouse special effects. I mean, it really is, and it's it's a major motion picture. I mean, these movies made money; they were international hits.
Yeah.
So, and here we are watching it years and years later. It was like 35 years later. We're sitting there watching this. I gotta think those villains were laughing because they were laughing with you.
Yeah.
They were laughing with the audience, like, like they couldn't keep a straight face at all. But they were.
Oh yeah, Timo, this is the type of movies that just make me enjoy film.
Right?
And I know that I said, like you said,
the reason cameras were invented.
Oh God, it's so much fun. Just so much fun.
Right. So. The only thing missing was John Carradine because they had the film.
Yeah,
but I guess this was one of those 10% of film cans that didn't come with the Carradine, I suppose. But that's all it's missing. I swear to you. If it had an American star, it'd be Carradine, and you know it, and I know it.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Absolutely.
For sure.
So I'm going to give it a big great pape up, Mr. Ben Harley. What are you going to do?
Same thing. Major great pape up to the rafters.
All right. So 2 big great papes up for The Devil's Sword.
Sword.
And 2 for Masterminds. Unbelievably. But there couldn't be 2 more different movies to watch in 1 week. So
no, exactly. Awful.
No matter what we do next week, Mr. Ben Harley, because I do not know what it's going to be, it will be more similar.
It will
to
be
these
riveting.
2 movies. I promise you that. So until then, stay spooky, and we'll talk to you then.
Keep it creepy, people.
You've been listening to the Timo and Harley Show, brought to you by ScreenPrintingFactory.com, your affordable one-stop solution to all your screen printing needs.